Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and boy, do I have a treat for you. Today, we are gonna make a brookie. Now, if you've never had one, it is basically a brownie and a cookie, but it is baked into one brookie. It is so good, and it will meet all of your needs. Chocolate, cookies, cakey, it's so good. It's not as cakey as a cake, but it will meet the needs. This is a perfect dessert that you could bring to a group of people that you don't know what they like, because there's something in it for everyone. They're so good. I cannot wait for them to be done so I can eat it. You ready? Let's get started. What you're gonna need for the brownie batter is 3/4 of a cup of salted butter, plus more for greasing your pan, 5 ounces of dark chocolate bars chopped, 3 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of instant coffee or dried espresso, 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 large egg plus 1 large egg yolk, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Now for the cookie dough, you're gonna need 1/2 of a cup of salted butter, softened, 1/2 of a cup of firmly packed light brown sugar, 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 1 large egg, 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of chocolate chips. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is preheat our oven to 350. Next, we are gonna take a 9x13 pan, and we are going to take a tablespoon or so of butter, and we are going to butter this whole thing. Make sure you get the butter up on the sides, because you will want this to come out so you can cut it into perfect little squares. Next, we will take a piece of parchment paper and we will glue it to the bottom. Now this is important because we want to be able to lift it out later. So glue it to the bottom and to the sides. Perfect. All right, let's put that up to the side. Okay. Next, we're gonna make the brownies. So go ahead and get your 1 1/4 cups of butter into your pan and start it on medium-low. Once it's all melted, we will add in our chocolate. While that's melting, I'm gonna combine my flour and my baking soda. Give that a little mix. I'll go ahead and put the salt and the baking soda in this one as well, and use my same one. Once you put the chocolate in there, you need to continue to whisk until it's smooth, because you do not want the chocolate to burn. The butter will help it not to burn, but be very careful. A couple of those pieces of chocolate were very big. I guess I didn't do a very good job cutting up that chocolate bar. So let's just get that in there. So do a better job, so that, because it would already be done right now. All right, now we are going to, now that it's all smooth, we're gonna sprinkle in the cocoa powder. Don't just dump it in there, because it'll, just trust me on this, sprinkle. I'm gonna switch hands. Sprinkle, sprinkle, okay? And then sprinkle the coffee. Now you can use instant coffee or you can use instant espresso powder. I prefer using the instant espresso powder because the espresso makes the chocolate just really jump out. But you can do you, boo. Okay, once it's all whisked in and smooth, we're gonna turn that off. We are going to let it sit for 5 minutes off of the heat. I'll go ahead and get my hot pad and we'll get rid of this. All right, and while that is resting for 5 minutes, let's go ahead and put together our cookie. So we are going to add our sugars and our butter to a mixing bowl, and we're gonna mix until light and fluffy. Right now we're gonna add the egg and the vanilla. All right, and then a little bit of the time, we're gonna add our flour. We're gonna turn it on low though. And now I'm gonna switch to a spoon. All right, make sure you scrape the bowl to get all of that flour off. Perfect. Now we're gonna add Almost all of these, we're gonna save back like 1/4 of a cup of chips. So we'll say that's about 1/4. And we're gonna mix those in. And then our cookie dough is ready. So let's set that off to the side and finish up this. All right, so to this, we are going to add our sugar, our egg, and egg yolk, and our vanilla. I'm gonna give that a good whisk. Ooh, already looks fantastic. Perfect. Woohoo, okay. Now we're gonna switch from a whisk to a spoon. Now we're gonna take a little bit at a time, sprinkle it in, and we're going to fold this in. Instead of mixing really hard, we're just gonna fold it in until it's combined. And when you see very little left, we're gonna sprinkle some more. Make sure you scrape down your sides. And our last bit. And you're just gonna want to fold until you don't see any traces of dry ingredients left. And as soon as you see no dry traces, you are done. Don't do any more. Let's see how hot it is. Still a little hot. We're gonna move it over here. And we are going to bring our tray back. And now comes the fun part. We are gonna take scoops of this dough and plop it into our pan here. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape this off so it's all inside my bowl. I'm gonna take a scoop here and literally I'm just going to plop these down all throughout my pan. So these will be much like bar cookies. Actually, they are kind of bar cookies. They're just made in a 9x13. And all of this cookie dough and all of that will fit into here. Scoot these guys a little bit closer together. I always forget how much it makes until I'm making it and I'm like, oh, that's right. How many rows? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, we're gonna set that off to the side. Okay, we are gonna do the same thing with our brownie batter, but this time we're gonna just fill it in all the places. So everywhere there's not a cookie, there is going to be a brownie. Okay, now with anything that's left over, we're gonna just fill in the gaps. So there's not a ton left in here, probably like 2 more scoops worth, but I'm gonna fill in all of my little gaps. Okay, look good, looks good. Now with an offset spatula, you are going to kind of push these down a little bit. You could also use a glass of some sort. That will work, but spatula or a knife, that's probably just fine. So just push those down so that they're down at the same level as the brownie. And then we are gonna do some tappy taps. So close your ears, we're gonna tappy tap. That's to try and get the brownie into all the right spots. Whoops, oh, I just put brownie on that. It's fine. Now, remember that chocolate chips we have left over? We are gonna sprinkle it all over the top. And my chocolate chips are kind of anemic looking. I have a feeling that it got really hot in my pantry in the last couple of weeks, and my chocolate chips have blossomed a little, bloomed a little, whatever, cause rude. So I'm gonna just put them all over the top here. All right, last thing to do, press those chocolate chips in, and it shouldn't stick to your fingers because of all the butter we used. So press the chocolate chips into the top, and now we bake. So we are gonna bake for 20 minutes in the 350 oven. And then as soon as the 20 minutes is up, we're gonna put a piece of foil on the top and kind of tent it so that it doesn't overcook. After the 10 minutes is up, check it with a toothpick to see if it's done. Check both the cookie and the brownie to see if it's done. When it's done, we're gonna let it cool for an hour. Yes, an hour. You must, or else it's not gonna cut well. We're gonna cool for an hour and then we'll be back to try it. Okay, the brookies are out. It actually took probably about 40 minutes total. So what I did was 20 minutes uncovered, then I tinted it for about 15 minutes, and then I took the tint off to get the cookie part a little bit more brown. And I'm ready to show you the results. Look at that! Now, you could be less like checkered than I was. You do you. You can even run a knife through it and it would turn out great. But this is the way I love to do it because I love to get full bites of brownie and full bites of cookie and then them together. So I'm gonna take a little bench scraper and I'm just gonna go along the edge just to loosen it up. Because remember, there's no parchment on these edges. But this is a non-stick pan, so shouldn't stick too much, but still, just precautionary. Next, we are going to lift it out by the parchment. That's why we had this hung over. Dink. And on a cutting board, not your counter, we are gonna cut these brookies into beautiful brookies. Brookie cookies. I absolutely love brownies. I absolutely love bar cookies. So really, this is a fantastic recipe. So I'm gonna cut in the middle first. Usually whenever I'm cutting large bars, I end up going sideways and then I have this like, yeah. You wanna see what's in the inside? Let me show you. Hold on. Look at that. Perfectly cooked. The cookie is fantastic. The brownie is fantastic. I cannot wait. Okay, I'm gonna do half again. And then this recipe makes 4 brookies. Just kidding. Oh, stinking yeah. This is the perfect brookie right there. Look at that. I want to eat it. I want to eat it right now. And I want to tell you how delicious it is. I'm going to cut it one more time just because on camera, it's better to eat from something smaller than huge. But this side's the cookie. This side's the brownie. Don't eat these after 5 p.m. They have espresso in them or coffee, but they're so good. Now, people will ask, Heather, can I use a boxed brownie mix and a bagged cookie mix to make this? Yes, you can. But making them from scratch is way better, especially whenever I use my homemade vanilla. These are the best dessert treats, cookies, brownies ever. These brookies are fantastic. I will have no problem eating my whole piece. This is the perfect size for a brookie because then you get cookies and brownies. The cookie is soft and chewy. The brownie is fudgy. It's a great recipe. If you've never had it before, you should try some brookies. They're fantastic. All right, you guys. Well, if you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos about everything. Desserts, dinner, snacks, whatever. But if you have some ideas for me, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, you guys, I will see you on the next adventure after I eat the rest of my brookie and cut the rest of this up. It's so good. Look, it's half and half. This is the perfect bite. I love it. All right, you guys.